What do we got, James?
Welcome back. Okay, so I think we didn't need any rolls for the cybernetic surgery on Nero. I think it just takes a bit of time to go ahead. So we might sort of say, so a few hours have passed with getting things sorted out. In terms of the investigation, what would people like to, what automated tasks do people want happening? So obviously we know that we've got Sargon rounding up the lower deck crews to work out who's actually where they should be. We've got the Twist Catcher preparing a murder party. We've got the Doctor helping Cyrax to upgrade Nero. How else would you like to be investigating, if you'd like to be investigating?
It doesn't sound like I can do anything. I'm currently in surgery.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking to everyone but you.
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to break the silence up because no one's saying anything.
Well, yeah.
Well, I think we'll need to either locate the culprit amongst our known psychers, or at the very least remove them as potential suspects.
Could probably, there might be cameras or something, or pick footage so you could see, maybe try and scan, see where people were at certain times, maybe something like that.
So are you like calling them in to question them first, or going to investigate them discreetly first?
No, I don't care about being discreet.
Okay. So you want to?
There was a murder on board, and there was a psyker involved. So.
Okay, so you're going to pull them all together and put them to the question, basically.
Means Nero's in surgery. I want to make sure there's a contingent of guards there that know full well that if any of these psychers resist me, they're to be that individual is to be horribly slaughtered on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, we have 1,000 armed men.
Mostly dead, though.
Mostly dead is still slightly alive.
Like I said, they don't need their legs to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're organizing this, you get back to Astropathic Communications. Okay, so the first one comes from Cassius Schrain. The communication, once again paraphrasing because it's psychic communication, pretty much says that he didn't have any communication with Al-Subai, that he hasn't raised any concern about your communication to him. You know, everything that was said to him was, you know, his last thought about you was a conversation he had with you on Footfall, basically, and he hasn't considered anything since. You pick up from the sort of the emotional intent behind the message that he's not on the same side of the Inquisition necessarily as Subai, so it's pretty much great, this guy is causing problems for me in my name. But Schrain has no issue with you right now, unless there's a reason he should. You know, like he didn't say you lied to him. Did you lie to him? It's sort of the tone of his message. But he basically distances himself from the whole Al-Subai investigation in that respect. The second message you get is actually, so when you need to send communications a very long distance, as in well outside your sector, with astropathic communication, generally speaking, you can't communicate directly to the end target. You basically got to relay it through several relay stations. So say, for example, you wanted to communicate with Earth or Terra from where you are now, it would probably have to be relayed through at least a half dozen relay stations to actually get to Earth, and that would take a considerable period of time. So effectively, one of the relay stations, or the closest relay station that you deal with for long-distance communications, has effectively sent you a read receipt, or a transmission receipt for a message that you haven't sent. So effectively, they just sent message received in good order and transmitted on to the next relay station. And you haven't sent any long distance communications anytime recently. So this is a bit odd.
Can I send a message back that whatever message that was sent by us was not actually sent by us, and I require a copy of that message to be sent back to us and forwarded that message is invalid and is to be removed? Okay.
So keeping in mind, that effectively, because these messages go at the speed of thought, they can send a message ahead to the next station and say it's invalid, but that next station would have already processed to the next and to the next. Mm-hmm. Like it'll reach its destination before it gets the message recall. Basically, is the point I'm making.
But still, at least we want to make sure that the message goes on ahead that whoever sent that, it legitimately was not us.
Yeah, that's right. So whoever gets it will then get a message saying this is not good. Right. So you round up you organise to have your sort of 6 senior astropaths round up, which you do. So Kira is probably the next most senior after you, so she assists with that. Certainly, when you pull them all together, there is one that is missing, or at least one that doesn't actually turn up as ordered to the briefing. His name is this is the name. 40K random name generator. He can be Harren.
Ducksworth. His name is Harren Ducksworth.
So he's a low-ranking adept. He doesn't get a surname.
One of the guardsmen standing near you, in a very narrowish way, goes, "Sir, I believe that it might be the one who is not present."
I'll step out of the room and I'll comms the first officer.
It's Parrington here. Go ahead.
Astropath Harren has not arrived along with the others. I suspect he is our culprit. Find him.
I'll put out a search party. You give him a vague description. He probably doesn't know what they all look like, but he'll organise that.
And I'll,
I mean, we already have the bosun turning the whole ship out, so.
Yep.
And I'll go back in the room and we'll still interrogate all these others regardless. Absence is not immediately a proof of guilt, and presence is not immediately proof of innocence.
Okay. Give me a inquiry roll at +30.
Oh, God.
I mean, a +30
sounds like you needed me there.
Yeah. 4 degrees of success. Hey.
Wow.
Okay. So
you rolled
they
a
all
2.
have. Oh my god! It's a critical success. In fact, I believe less than 5. It's within 5% of what you needed. Oh no, that's not quite. Maybe 2 would be 5% of. Yeah, no, it is. So it is critical success. Anyway, they all have alibis for where they were, and if you bring up Harren to them, they count that he's a good and loyal member of the Astropathic choir. They're a bit unsure of why he's not here. You can also glean that he does own a stub automatic that would be of a similar caliber to the one that caused the fatality. Otherwise, they could think of no reason why he would have been involved in anything like this. And what's more, if the implication is that he somehow was able to use the August to send a message that was unplanned without the choir, that requires more psychic ability than any of you really have. It would almost burn you out, the process of doing that, to try and trigger that much distance on your own, even with the benefit of the August. But they're not sure what else could have happened. So
still going to require that they submit to a deep level mind probe just to verify.
Yes.
You can.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can do the mind probes without. Effectively, you don't need to do the suppress rolls because you don't need to worry about hiding it from them. You can go deeper. And yep, they're an open book. You've already shared minds with these people before. In fact, Harren was one of the people you shared minds with when you were trying to investigate the nature of the infection on the crew previously. So he was one of the older crew that was still on board the ship from previously. So about an hour later, so first off, word comes through that probably Sargon has arrested maybe 36 crew who were not where they should be. Either they were off drinking, gambling, not at their post, whatever the case may be. There's always a level of dissonance within a crew, and so about 30 odd people were picked up and have been placed into the brig for that. What you do with that is up to you after the fact.
Don't worry, I got them. I got this.
I wonder what could happen.
Harren has been located unconscious but otherwise healthy in a storeroom somewhere, along with his pistol, which is missing 3 rounds. So he's also been taken to the brig and seen by the chirurgeon to work out that he is He's not in immediate danger of dying, but he's still unconscious at the moment.
I'll
Nero
immediately go
is
there.
now out of surgery, which means that Cyrax is now out of surgery. So, does Pierre want to go there too, or is it just you? Who wants to go to Harren's interrogation?
I mean, I'll go because the tech addict is technically under my authority, so I'll show up as a Mechanicus representative in the investigation.
Yep.
Okay. And I would immediately be commsing Pierre and informing him of everything so far as I'm like trotting down the hall.
I just want to make Pierre won't be going. I just want to make the request to, after interrogation and what is needs proven, bring the suspect to him in the bridge when it's done. Alive, preferably.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the wisdom of that.
Oh, he'll die later.
Placing you squarely in the same room with a psyker who has potentially already murdered someone doesn't exactly strike me as the.
He did murder him
best
with a
idea.
gun, to be fair.
If you deem him too dangerous to bring him to the bridge, that's fine. Shoot him there. If not, bring him to the bridge so I can make an example of him.
That's fair.
I'll let your judgment be the call for that.
Will you be recording your flaying knife, sir?
So you head into this cell. So the guy's currently unconscious. So Harren is pale-skinned, void-born astropath. He wears the typical sort of blue-purple robes. You note that he's had one of his arms replaced bottom-wenting at some point, so maybe some injury that he lost an arm and has a cyber arm now. He doesn't seem to bear any other signs of injuries, although you can probably pick up, just without needing to make a roll, Sid, that his mind is there's definitely some psychic scarring on his mind, consistent with overusing a psychic power to the point that nearly burn a person out.
Mm-hmm.
Unman, you got to make a move to wake him up or anything. As soon as I step into the room, I'm immediately going to dive in unfettered.
Okay, no worries.
I want to probe every depths of his brain.
So give me a willpower roll at plus 15, plus 30, plus 20, sorry. Okay.
2.9. Damn
Which
it.
actual dice roll? Okay, it was not a double.
Tempted to re-roll that.
No doubt.
Okay, that's fine. You've beaten him. So there's something when you get drive into his mind. So he has no service source right now because he's currently unconscious. But when you dig further in, you find like blank spots in his mind. Like effectively over the last several hours, the images in there are hazy at best. So you can sort of see you get the mind's eye view of him holding the gun towards the tech priest. You can sort of feel his energy as he tried to communicate through the auger on his own without the aid of the astropathic choir, the mental strain that caused. But all of this is dreamlike. Like the person in question is almost along for the ride, so to speak. Going back before that, like probably,
I was just thinking that would be a possibility.
Yeah, an hour before. Yeah, an hour before he started doing this sort of stuff, his memory is quite clear. He was just going about his day doing what astropaths do, and then suddenly it was like there was an outside influence on his mind, but it doesn't feel psychic. It's almost like in order to have cybernetic equipment, he has to have like a mind interface, so his mind can control the arm, and it's almost like the connection was reversed. Like software within his arm, affected his mind.
Interesting.
Interesting. So something within his arm?
Yes.
I guess it is a neural interface, so
yeah.
It's an interesting attack.
I turn and look at
vector.
Cyrax and ask, any possibility that dear friends, the angels, may have interfered with his arm in some way.
And we haven't come across any evidence of there being. I mean, we only found the one, right?
We literally have a servitor on board that had this exact thing happen to them.
But the servitors, but the difference is the servitor's mind is partially mechanical. Like its brain is like half machine, not this guy. Only his arm is mechanical.
Sure,
so
but we
it's a
know that
different-
someone has this exact pathway of attack.
Yeah, but not that,
I mean,
we don't know.
the thing is to,
I mean,
to control the psychic mind. I guess this is outside of what Cyrax will call normal. Like you've never heard of a case
Okay.
of some like even
Yeah.
malicious software in someone's cybernetics taking over a human mind, especially a psychic one.
Yeah, this is just the attack vector is unique. I mean, strong enough psychers can control people, but not. No, I have never seen something controlled in this way.
No, I think we should disassemble his arm and find out what is.
Possible.
All right.
I like
Yeah,
put my
yeah.
hand on my sword. Should I remove it, or would you?
I mean, I guess you're in charge of the psychic contingent, right? I mean, you have that authority. I mean, if you wanted to do it, yeah, we just remove his arm. We don't have to like cut it off. I'm sure there's like usually there's like a neural. Like they have to like put a thing on. If you lose an arm, they put a thing
Listen,
on
he's
and it
gonna
has to like bind.
he's
and
gonna
then
cut
do
it off
attention.
anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I don't want to damage the fucking arm. Is my point. We can disassemble it without just lopping
That's
it
fair.
off.
I mean, you do
Plus
2 inches above the cyber stuff. You're good. You just chop right there. You know.
I pull out the correct size out, or what I think is the correct size Allen key, and it's the wrong one, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta sit there and find the right one, and then somebody
You're
put it
always
back in the
missing the
thing.
right wrench.
Always
Someone's borrowed.
I literally I posted a picture in my Discord one day of I found a 10mm socket in my thing, and people were like, "Oh, because that fucking thing always disappears." Yeah, so
While
I
he's
can
doing that,
take
and
it off.
I'll calms Pierre. Unfortunately, Pierre, I don't think there will be any execution today. It appears that this person was not directly responsible. He was being controlled, most likely, by our good friends, the angels.
should still quarantine him of some sort. Is what I think we should do.
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
but
I
whatever.
need
But yeah,
one
we'll see.
moment
What
to
we can...
unlock the Xbox my son again. Sorry.
Interesting.
That, kids, is why you do not get caught.
Figure out what's going on. Might still need to make an example of them anyway.
The child or the
My mic was.
say the James's kid or this guy we're imprisoning? Which one should be made an example?
I think at this moment is when Nero enters the room wearing his full armor. He's got the shoulder-mounted gun.
I will
And
wave
the
at you.
gun
Does it
is
like
caught-
follow with his gaze?
No,
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
he's closed his eyes and is seeing through the omniscope sight. And he turns to Garth and says, "I have heard that a blind person who sees is better than a seeing person who is blind, Garth. I've never been able to know so much about the things around me." Then he's going to open his eyes up, and the gun is going to swivel so it's watching behind him. And that's pretty much going to be his standard issue position
Garth
for
just
this
kinda-
gun.
Just stand there for a moment. Pale imitation.
I'm gonna wave with the detached arm.
Why are you waving a detached arm? Is this the one? Like, Nero is just bringing his heavy bolter up.
I believe that there was some form of technological component contained within his arm that was forcing him to murder.
The man was a
Second.
puppet. He is not directly responsible.
Is this just like the Uvoth thing that we encountered earlier with the Servitor?
I find it extremely likely.
Uvoth is the alien species that Nero thinks
Oh.
the Necrons
I
are,
think it's his.
because they're the boogeyman of the Expanse. All right,
knowing
so
that-
you're saying I shouldn't shoot this man?
Correct.
All right. Do
Oh,
you need me
here's a
here
question,
for
James.
anything?
Yes.
When I was probing his mind, was I able to determine what message that he was sending?
So the message he sent was extremely long and not in a format that you can like. It wasn't words, or it was like when you got that PDF before. It was data.
Oh,
Like he pretty much sent a whole bunch of effectively code that you can't interpret.
I suppose we'll have to wait for the return message then.
So give me a tech use. Atomic. Give me it's +0, but you can have +20 for your combi tool.
Roger.
I'm not there to get a +10 either, am I?
Unless you want to shout across the comms.
Do you want to be there for the investigation?
I have you on comms right now, so
How's the investigating? I hope you're doing very well. Good job. Do better.
Audio
Better.
pad on the back. All right. So am I doing 20 or 30?
Do it +30. That's fine.
Actually, I'm gonna re-roll that because
91.
set. Yeah, right. That's better.
It's better. Okay. So there is code in this arm which is not part of its regular operating matrix. It's still like it's not alien code, but it bears a resemblance to the data streams you saw pulled out of the core. And what's more, the code in his arm is actually like morphing. Like you actually get the impression he's got like a miniature AI sitting within the processor in his arm right now.
Type of scrap code, maybe.
Sort of. It's like a portion of the AI was downloaded into his arm as like a worm,
Interesting.
and it's triggered an activity. It's triggered an action.
Should have Cyrax check the code that was sent by this guy.
We could try.
Garth immediately just goes, "Whoa, 01010101010101."
Yeah,
Just for hours vocalizing.
I apologize, Cyrax. I'm not able to go as fast as you. 011.
Yeah, you don't have that capability.
Oh right, you would just be able to mind link with them. That probably would work
Do
a
that
lot better.
too.
Yeah.
Probably what'll
Still
happen
not
is
sure I'd be able to operate as fast.
If I have
when you
implants
get
for
the
that.
return data from the relay station, that'll be readable then, because what you put out of his head is sort of marred by the psychic
Hazy
warping.
and fuzzy and yeah.
So we're thinking what then? Cyrax?
I'll explain to some type of corrupted code. I won't specifically say that it might be from this core because I'm not entirely sure yet, but it was definitely an outside influence.
So it could be the Uvoth.
Possibly. It could also be a rival of ours. It's too early to tell.
I didn't know we had any Mechanicus rivals.
No one said it had to be a Mechanicus.
You think something this elaborate is done by a non-Mechanicus rival?
The Inquisition is capable of many things.
Oh, Nero's
Or it
just...
could be another rogue trader
Correct.
who might be working with someone of the Inquisition. It's too long of a
Keep in mind, dear Nero, that everyone in this sector is a rival.
I mean, Nero just says, I don't know why you're explaining that to me.
By the way, is that Inquisitor's ship still hanging out?
The Ivory... No,
No,
they
he
left.
fucked
The
off.
Ivory Archivist.
Oh.
No. Yeah, they left
I was saying,
immediately.
why haven't we destroyed that?
Did the guy that brought all of our personnel and all of our supplies or whatever, is that ship returned?
Yeah, that ship
Yeah,
left
yeah,
immediately
yeah.
as well.
Tell him.
So my couriered message is on its way then.
Yes.
Yeah, the elated hymnals. So Nero's just like, well, you've seen how I worked at investigations before. Just call me when you need me. I'm gonna go have lunch with Riani. And he just leaves.
You do get the message though about all the people that have been locked up for general dereliction of duty.
Yeah, of course. I gotta have lunch and then I gotta go talk to my boy Thale. And at that point, I'm gonna deal with all of my problem children at once.
Or you sit there and you supervise the problem children, and it's like live entertainment. It's like watching TV while you eat.
I don't know why you think Nero wouldn't be at the front of the mutant killing party.
I actually do want Miriam to do a genetic scrub on the kid. that
we just sent her
brought up.
down to the planet.
Oh, then eventually later then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that kid follow me everywhere. What's this kid's name? I want to intimidate him a little bit. You speak
Okay.
Low Gothic?
He does not speak Low Gothic, no.
All right. I'm just gonna
Just gonna be
indicate
walking
this.
around, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy.
So his name is Cade.
Kid. I mean, I'm gonna talk to him, not like he's an idiot or anything. I understand that he doesn't understand me, but I'm hoping that something gets through, and I'm just gonna indicate to him that his job is to follow me now.
Yeah. Look, when someone doesn't speak, you just speak louder and slower. That's how you do
No,
it.
that's look. Nero doesn't
Here's a
assume
question.
that this
Here's a
guy's
question,
an idiot.
James. So is there, I mean, a lot of the planets, it's described as a lot of planets, you know, it's almost like Old English versus modern English. Like there's some similarity, but there's obviously it's a derivative, or, you know,
Yeah, that's right.
is it kind of like, so is there like a crossover between Low Gothic and what they're speaking, or is it just completely different at this point?
Yeah, I mean, look,
close is it?
there's a crossover between Low Gothic and what they're speaking, in the same way there's a crossover between modern English and Latin, you know, or you know, or Old German, or, you know, Sanskrit.
I got you.
The time's more like to Sanskrit, basically.
Okay.
So it's 10,000 years of variance.
Yeah, that's why I'm just heading over to Coliseum to check my basketball game. You know.
But certainly he'll follow you around. Now, that being said, you still feel discomforted around him. Like he just, you know, he always seems to be
I forgot
getting
about
on
that.
your nerves somehow.
Yeah. All right. So, if and when I get to lunch with Riani, I'm going to leave him outside the room at a comfortable speaking distance, so I don't feel like murdering him.
Okay, no worries. All right. So, Sid, you get back the message from the relay station that once again, it's a whole bunch of data code basically, and its destination was a destination on Mars. So, based on what you know about the vagaries of astropathic communication, it'll probably take somewhere between 2 and 4 months to actually reach Mars.
And that checks out with what we know out of character, since we know that this came from a pre-omnisciic Martian cult, right?
Yeah, a prescribed cult from Mars.
Yep. It's probably just checking in at home, being like, "Hey, you up?"
New Vox, who dis?
Yeah.
It's the Martian with dick pics in the middle of the night. That's it.
It's just it's like the episode of Futurama where Bender's just looking at schematics.
All right. So should we do this dinner with Brianna then, or say lunch with Brianna?
I was hoping that maybe we'd get Garth translating it to Cyrax and figure out what the message is.
Okay, we're gonna do that first.
Yeah, of course. Listen,
Nice.
you can't put a murder mystery in front of me, James. You know that I will go to unusual and ridiculous lengths to solve them.
Okay. So give me a Scholastic Law Cryptology roll, please, Sid. A +10.
You don't have that, do you?
Let's see. Yeah, I do.
I don't think he does.
Wow.
4 degrees of success.
What the fuck?
I think it's one of his base skills, isn't it?
That's one of his base
Yeah.
skills, yeah. Something. Okay. All right. So Atomic, give me a logic roll, then a +20 for Sid's.
Logic
degrees
at
of success.
+20. I can do that. 2.3 degrees of success.
Okay. So the best way to describe this, imagine you had an existing program of code, right? And effectively what you did is you added a new subroutine to that code. So you knew the existing code structure, you wrote a new function, you inserted it into the additional code. What you've effectively got is you've got that subroutine, that subsection. So effectively it's like this program exists as artificial intelligence. So it's morphing code. So what it's effectively doing is it's effectively updating what a source somewhere else with the data relevant to what its local experience is like. So effectively it's sharing its local experience to an outside. Now, without knowing, seeing the whole code of the artificial intelligence, there's only a limited amount of data you can pull from looking at the subroutine that's effectively been placed in front of you, once again, in a neuro net system as such. But from what you can effectively glean is that it's reporting that its experiments have been successful so far, that it understands there's an attack coming. It is trying to drive local forces into defending it, but while also, effectively building its own defense. Like, but there are it pretty much, you can glean that you are the local forces, you are the neutral third party in its assessment, and that it's trying to use you in some capacity to bolster its defenses, or at least have its enemy break themselves upon you before they attack them. But it right now its ability locally, its ability to control is quite limited to its immediate environment, and it does perceive a threat from you as something which might
literally just a picture of Nero. Hey, listen, we already know
line
that
at a time.
we already know it considers Nero a threat because Nero's the only one that it sent away.
Yeah.
I love the idea that Cyrax is just getting a dot matrix of Nero.
Has anybody seen the film Upgrade?
What is it?
No, Upgrade.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a scene that where a chip in somebody's head, they see something, and so they ask the chip to help them draw it. And when they draw it like a dot matrix printer. So it's controlling their hand, but they draw it like a line at a time rather than actually drawing the shape. So.
Yeah. What's like? There's the
amazing.
It's. I mean, there's a cybernetic you can get that replaces a finger with essentially it's an autocoil.
Yeah.
So you just writes super fast, super accurate, whatever. It's just cybernetic.
Scribe tine to replace all your fingers with quills.
Yeah, you can do it. Just do it 5. It's gonna be funny. You just put your hand, play your hand down the page, and it just does whatever.
Yeah, it's like in Ghost in the Shell, the hands that break out to do lots of typing.
No, that's weird.
Well, you can get, as a tech priest, you can get it to where like your finger pops open and it'll make a dendrite. It goes out and plugs into shit. I don't do that, but I could if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell Garth that this thing is trying to build a force. It's trying to build a defensive force in preparation for an attack.
I feel like we would be better served if this thing was destroyed.
Oh, put it in stasis.
Indeed.
I don't know if we have a stasis vault on board.
Assume you do.
Okay. We can put it in
Yeah, that
stasis
worked real
instead of
great for
destroying
it last time.
Well, this thing was it? Well,
Floated through space for 30,000 years.
yeah, but it's not a stasis vault. I mean, it would be inert. So I'm saying it's rather than destroying it because we might need it later for something.
For what?
I don't know.
It wants to hijack us and use us in its defense.
Well, luckily,
Use it in the building of computer games.
luckily
Wow.
Nero has no say in this matter, and so I do whatever I want with it, and I'm going to put it in a stasis vault.
Yeah, well, turns out I have access to that stasis vault and a number of mining explosives.
You can't fucking blow up every single thing we get. That's not how this works.
I have blown up a surprisingly small number of things, and most of them were flesh-based.
I outrank you on the ship. My order is it goes in the stasis vault, and no one is to touch it except unless ordered by the Lord
Correct.
Captain
I
or myself.
would not believe an explosion would be touching it. I'm not
gonna
even here
suggest-
for this.
I know. I'm going to suggest to the Lord Captain that the stasis vault should have biological ident programming, just like that one room.
Okay.
Set to Nero only. Only he can get to the stasis vault. The most trustworthy member of the crew, the only one we know it will
Like
defend.
Cyrax would program it to allow everyone but Nero.
The most trigger-happy member of the crew that distrusts anything above the technological level of a toaster.
The
And he's still
one
suspicious of the
person,
toaster.
the one person we know isn't affected by it. You're gonna lock it in a room away from that guy.
I mean, you have cybernetics now. So.
Now, sure. I'm also very strong-willed. I occasionally pass willpower checks.
I don't know if it's a willpower thing though, because it's
Really?
a physical. It's a
I might
physical
prove you.
interface.
Hey man, I
Like-
resisted that space marine trying to get in my brain. Like that.
That
That's gonna be near the Nero's retirement chronicles. Should he have them? That's gonna be the best moment of his entire life.
Yeah, I will. I'll get this thing put in a stasis vault, and I'll inform the captain what we've learned, myself and Garth. And that
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're putting the arm in the stasis vault?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to either collect the AI and put it in the stasis vault or
No, blow it up.
destroy it.
Yeah, look, what do you do with the arm is your own business. We need to destroy the machine.
Well, it's down there on the planet somewhere.
You cut
I
out.
would have the Astropath that was bugged, so to speak, also snuffed out, as in searched to make sure he's okay, or just shoot him.
Well, we were gonna put him in a holding cell or something until we could. And we know he was puppeted, and we've removed the arm, so in theory he shouldn't be able to be controlled at the moment. But I
would
still
make
suggested,
sure.
Well, I still suggested to Garth that we put him in some type of holding cell just until we have the situation. Either we learn more or we have it under control.
Just put him in a stasis pod.
Yeah,
Or somewhere.
it's-
I preferably would want him somewhere that he wouldn't have access to a panel or something that he could send the code somewhere else. I essentially want to make sure that his Neuralink, there's no more code.
yeah. Well, we've removed. I think it's his only cybernetic, right? The arm.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
Okay, so,
there's the,
yeah,
there's the
the arm
internal
has been
cybernetic, which
detached.
is there's the actual
Yeah.
neural interface, but that's it.
Because it was the arm that was or the arm that was controlling him through the neural interface, and the arm's now been disconnected. So, and he has no other cybernetics. In theory, he has no other cybernetics for the code to take control of.
I would check the neural interface, since just to be cautious. Humor
I mean,
the Lord
sure.
Captain, please.
I mean, sure. I mean, we can see if there's any, I guess, code remnants or program remnants or anything like that. Something trying to hide somewhere.
Okay, we're getting that will take a bit of extra time because it is.
That's fine.
his
I mean,
brain.
we got nothing but time.
Just
But if the
load
Lord-
up
if the-
malware
if the Lord-
bytes and run a virus scan on it real quick.
Just find out. Just fucking find out which little son of a bitch is hiding in the background. But I mean, if the Lord Captain wants to do, because we do have him on the Vox. If he suggests doing it, then I'll do it, because it's. I mean, that's sounds like a good idea to me.
Garth leans up and he says, "It's in the kernel."
You can always
Check for rootkits.
leave him in status for 10,000 years and hope someone comes along and tries to blow him up with a melter gun. That's what happens when he gets into status.
Look, man, we have a reputation to uphold.
The reputation for fucking up, yeah.
What? No! We have performed admirably against incredibly shitty odds. You know what the chances are that we would not blow up the correct people and do blow up the correct people as well?
I'm talking about the Dreadnought.
I'm
That
talking
was
about that
a
as
fuck
well.
up.
We didn't kill him.
We
Barely.
tried.
There was
We
a
tried.
pretty good...
Definitely tried.
It
Yes.
wasn't for lack of trying.
We
Yeah.
definitely could have with a little bit more effort, or if Nero had just been there to bolt her into it.
I think Nero has a little bit too much confidence in
We are very...
anti-personnel weapon versus an armored thing.
Look, if you keep firing for a long enough amount of time, it will get through.
I mean,
Statistically speaking, eventually you'll roll a 5 that you need to make a wound, and then you'll have to make a couple rough save.
That's a lot of.
And then you just got to hope that he doesn't make the 6
I
up
have
at the
a
end for
lot
the
of
dinner.
rounds, is what I have to say. I mean, I have a backpack that lets me fire 200 times with my other gun.
You get an astropathic communication, Sid,
Oh, boy.
from Footfall. This one's the second one from Cassius Schrain.
Great.
He is requesting a direct astropathic link, like effectively like a live communication. You're close enough that can be done. So effectively, it's like it becomes like a conversational type situation between himself and your Lord Captain.
Is it no? Which Inquisitor is this?
This is the Death Watch one.
Train,
okay.
the first one we met.
Okay.
I will notify Pierre.
Okay, I guess I'll go to this Skype call.
A Vulcan mind meld. My mind
So-
to your mind.
So the way this will actually work is you go up to the choir, and effectively the choir will do the astropathic communication, and effectively Sid will speak with Shrain's voice, or Garth will speak with Shrain's voice. And on the other side, whichever astropath he's talking to will be speaking with your voice. So you don't actually see him. There's no visual communication. It's entirely audio, but effectively it's his words in his voice. From what I've seen in stuff that they've had in live action coming out of Garth's mouth.
Hey, it's your boy Shrain. Yup, bro. Heard you death watching out there. You good?
So I will need, please, Sid, a willpower roll for you. it has to be. It can't be fettered for this type of communication. It has to be unfettered, and you get to add the ship's detection, which is 25 plus your psi rating times 5, so plus a total plus 40, willpower plus 40.
This is the moment where
Can
Sid
I
rolls
give
a
him an
99.
extra 10?
Sure, willpower plus 50.
There you go. I don't
99.
want anything terrible happening. This is
Summons a
1
demon
degree
in the
of
Astropathic
success.
choir.
Okay,
I rolled
it's
a
not-
92.
92.
But it's-
Yeah.
but it's not a double. That's okay. That's all that's required.
oh man. Oh,
So after, so
it's a good thing I
effectively,
added.
as you watch Pondo, so you're in this like circular room with Garth in the middle and the other astropaths all arrayed in a circle around the outside, most of which are sort of like chained to their stations, but the others sort of sit in the inner row, who are like the ones like Kira and the others, where there is a vacant seat where Harren would have sat, and the astropaths in the background are sort of swaying and humming almost harmoniously, and the whole sort of room turns cold, and you get this impression of sort of dropping away from the physical world. And then when Garth's mouth moves, a different voice comes out, and you hear Shrane's voice. Lord Captain, I thank you for taking my summons.
I thought it would be good to touch base.
Yes, I wanted to bring a proposal to you. I would have rather do it directly, but it seemed I don't have the freedom to move into the Expanse right now. And so the situation is becoming more and more time sensitive as we move on. I have a business proposition for you.
I am all ears.
Hmm.
Well, all brain, I suppose, in this scenario.
I, as you know, had a former dealing with your predecessor, and she was able to assist us in many ways, compensated, obviously. I had originally thought to leave you out of that because her manner of coming into that business dealing was, well, fortuitous or unlucky, whichever way you might put it, but it was by chance only. Normally, I would not be inviting people into such arrangements, but the fact is that we have noticed the loss of availability of the Cowles dynasty and your ship, and we wish to procure that aid again. In order to do that, though, I'll need to read you in on things that you tell me you don't know about, maybe you do or don't know about. The involvement of the Tyrantine Cabal certainly complicates matters, but I'd rather have you in the know and on my side than leave you in the dark and have you potentially be used by my enemies.
Well, this is the thing. Huge red flag going up here.
I suppose you would want me to come back to football so we could discuss this further.
No, this
More-
communication is secure enough.
Okay.
Yes. Within the moor, there is an area where there is an ancient non-human artifact which forms a stable warp route it doesn't mean it's warp, it's a stable travel route, maybe a wormhole or something along those lines, to another sector of the Imperium. A sector which is relatively hard to reach by conventional means within its own area. The fact that this warp gate exists allows us to move forces quite readily into that area. The issue is that area is full of Xenos species, quite dangerous ones we haven't encountered previously. And as such, the Order of Xenos has taken an interest and has established a watch fortress within that reach of the segmentum. Previously, we've relied upon some ships that have been brought into the fold, including your own, to help transport troops and materiel to the warp gate when we need to bolster forces within the reach. As I said, we'd hoped to avoid having to continue that relationship with your ship, but there is a particular alien race which appears to be amassing forces near the other side of the warp gate. And so we need to likewise bolster our own defenses. And an additional ship to help us transport forces there would be of great benefit.
And may I ask or inquire what race this might be?
They're not ones that you would have encountered, but the name that the Ordo Xenos has classified for them is Necrons.
Shock. Something really like booming with deep reverb, but slightly Egyptian-y plays.
I will. There's a couple things I would like out of this deal. One of them is probably will be very difficult for you to accomplish, being as it's dealing with another Inquisitor. The two other things is I would like to be able to have more access to guardsmen, so to speak, is one of them. So maybe requisitioning a few of the ones that I transport here and there might be substantial. The other one is I'd like to get whatever information you have on these Necrons that you speak of.
Information so go ahead.
I also, when you become available and can actually come out to the Expanse, I feel like I need your expertise on certain item I've found on one of my colonies.
Do you plan to return to Footfall anytime in the near future?
My current plans are that I am going to make a round trip with my other colonies. I will stay away from Station 13 as much as possible. And then I'll come back to Footfall after that. I don't know the exact time, I guess.
Just to be clear, Station 13 and the Jericho Warp Gate are two different things.
Fair enough. But I'm just saying I am going to honor my agreement with you about the station that we had before.
Yes. Well, I obviously don't have a ship. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to make this arrangement. So,
Indeed.
Yes, I can't make my way to you. Whatever we need to do in person, you'll need to make your way to me.
Fair enough.
And if available at the time, I'm willing to join you if you want to bring me to your colony to see whatever this is, although I would still bring my entourage.
I would highly recommend that too. This is perfectly fine with me.
Yes. Of course, fiduciary compensation is always an option, but if there are things you wish to like knowledge, although I will caution you that knowledge once acquired is hard to get rid of.
I understand.
The captain might hear in his head a quote that Cyrax has said before: "Knowledge is power, guard it well."
Is there anything else that you need of me, Inquisitor?
No, I can already see this communication is taxing my astropath here significantly. So, for want of not burning her out, I'd rather terminate this now, and we communicate next time we are in the same place.
Very well.
All right. So
I turned my Garth off or something.
You boop his nose and it disconnects. Isn't the Skype disconnects him?
Blink. Yeah, the lights come up. The room returns to a normal sense of proportion. People stop swaying and singing.
Well, that chill when psychic stuff's being used.
You probably notice about like 4 or 5 of the astropaths like wiping away nosebleeds.
An average day.
I was like, oh, never get used to that. I need a drink.
You need to make you a drink servitor.
Thank you, Garth.
I'm pretty sure there's a bar fridge in the choir chamber itself. It's like
There's a bartender servitor with like a nice shirt on, and it's just like
they had a specific like mini wine fridge just for Garth installed.
Jello coolers.
This calls for a martini. So,
all right. So back to lunch with Riani then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there with Riani, and
so how did the invitation look, by the way? So how do you actually invite her? Did you
look? It's low Gothic. Nero's not that kind of guy. He can't write in the language of these fancy schmancy.
But so you send her a message anyway. You send her an invitation as a message
via scroll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he used cursive and everything.
Nice. Okay.
Just asking if she was available for casual business lunch.
Business lunch, okay.
What?
So she says, so she turns up probably still. She always has an apprehensive look, especially around Nero, and she does look a little apprehensive when she comes in. But
I'm like, please sit down. No need to look apprehensive.
who was the young boy outside? He felt
The blank.
odd.
Yes, he would feel that way. How should I put this? He is a sacrifice that we are going to have to make. Don't worry about him. Next time you see him, you won't, because he'll probably be dead. Until that time, I'm going to have him work out and learn weapons and stuff. He's my new Oswald.
Okay.
Here,
She
please
sits down- she
try
sits
the
down.
salad and these sandwiches. I had the ship's steward specially craft them. They're just like the ones back on my homeworld.
She tries a bit, and like occasionally she has like a noble bearing, but not all the time. And so she's actually like she's eating a sandwich, and she's sort of like, "Oh, it's good," while still eating. Just she obviously doesn't get great food up in the Oculus all the time.
Yeah. I know that being in this system causes you great strain and stress. I recall that when we were entering the area, you were in such great confusion and peril that you required my services as a door opener.
It's not as bad in the materium or in the physical realm, but I imagine that when we have to leave this place finally, that
We will
the
be
war will take
leaving
its tax in.
shortly. I believe that it would be good for you to bolster yourself before then.
Yeah. She gets like a second plate and like picks up like 5 or 6 sandwiches and drops them on the plate and puts it to one side.
I understand. In this timeline, she ends up being Antifo's mother. I got nothing out of Sid on that. Damn. Really trying. All right. I say, have you been to Solitude before? I think not, yes?
No, not to the planet surface.
Then...
Oh, no, sorry, Solitude, that's the other way. No, I haven't been. This
yes.
is my first time into the Expanse, remember?
Yes, I'm aware. I'm just being polite. It would do well for you to prepare your charts, and I'm sorry, I don't really know how it works, but you should be ready to go there next, as soon as possible.
All right, I understand we have a new card of artifacts as well that's joined the crew, so...
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Yes, he looks after the maps, basically.
I see. Well, I'm sure you can work with them.
Yes. I'll reach out to him. So Solitude will be our next destination. That should be...
That is the last I've heard. I know that no one really checks in with you very often. Pretty much most of the senior officers forget about the rest of the crew, but I would like to make sure you know what we're doing so that there are no surprises. They're usually so busy disassembling bodies. It's really weird, actually, how often they're disassembling bodies.
Okay. It's like twiddling their thumbs, or
that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay. There's probably a little bit of more sort of pain, so how are you? So, sort of just like some attempt at some lunchtime communication.
Oh yeah, like he's like he
Yeah.
like points up to the new left shoulder mounted gun, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm great. Now I can see behind me all of the time. It's made me 13% less paranoid than normal. Now I know that no one can sneak up on me."
Oh, very good. Well, were people doing that a lot beforehand?
Yes.
Okay. I suppose if you present an intimidating enough front, people will come at you from behind.
Nero enters a flashback of like orcs coming at him from every direction trying to stab him as he's just holding a heavy bolter and going in circles going ah, and then he flashes back to the president and says, "Yes, it happens all the time when you're intimidating."
As you are.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I really put a lot of effort into it, and it feels like people don't really notice.
No, it shows.
Thank you.
She keeps eating quietly. so,
I have other things I need to get to, Riani. If there's not anything else, I'm afraid I must take my new charge and.
No. Don't let me hold you up. She picks up
very
a
well,
plate of
thank you.
sandwiches.
I'm gonna head out and do a workout montage then.
Okay, no worries.
Nero pulls out a Walkman. Begins playing something and gestures for the kid to join him in some jog.
Right. So I guess at this point, does anyone have? I'm looking for your information on what you guys want to do next.
I need to talk to Thale and then let loose the dogs of mutant eating.
Yeah.
Well, killing. Sorry, mutant killing. We probably shouldn't eat them. You don't know where it's been.
I have acquisition stuff to do. That's all I need.
Let's do that. Yeah. No, I really want to know about these acquisitions.
Okay. So what are we after?
It's numerous things, unless there's a stock limit of what I can do.
So it's usually one roll per person per session. So one person can do all those rolls. So it's
Gotcha.
pretty much four rolls in a session is my limit.
Just is just still going to do it with just one each?
It's the idea.
Okay.
I mean, you can make all the rolls. It's fine. It's just
okay.
That's the limit of.
I guess I'll start with the heavy power armor. Not the lathe. Yeah, not the lathe rot, but just the normal. I think it's extreme rare.
Extremely rare. That's right. Which is minus 30, I believe. Plus 30 for one.
I had it in the spreadsheet. I'll go take a look real quick.
You didn't have the. Did you update the spreadsheet?
No, but I do have what extremely rare is, and it is minus 30. Yeah, so it's a zero
minus
roll.
30, so plus 30. Okay.
Yeah.
And then whatever I get for commerce.
Yes. So do your commerce tests.
All right, it's not going to work that way. That's unfortunate. So let's do this the regular way.
I mean, James can get on your character sheet and press the buttons if you need.
Yeah, just do the commerce plus 10. Plus the other 10, I think, for having Holt.
Oh, yes.
20.
Yep.
Okay. Commerce plus 20.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing for me. I'm clicking on it's not coming up with the box. So when you roll 20, it's throwing a shoe again.
Yeah, it's been real bad on the weekends.
Yeah.
Just do it manually then.
Less than 83.
Wow.
Where's that button? There it is.
Okay, so that's 4 degrees of success.
So that'd be
plus 8. So it brings up to 47. So just for the audience's benefit, we were talking in the last session about the benefits to profit factor that we got from the colony things. It actually worked out to be exactly plus 0, because one colony went up by 2, one colony went down by 2 because of the fact that it became less productive. Okay, that's fine. So one suit of ironclad heavy power armor, which on a colony of this size, I think will be about a week or so. Just roll me a D. Oh, sorry, I'll see what it is. So colony size less than 10,000, extremely rare, is 1 week exactly.
okay. So don't need a roll.
Oh, this is like no, less than 10,000. Sorry, no, sorry, I was going around. D5 months. Sorry.
Jesus.
Yeah.
4 months.
Okay.
Well.
Can we say it arrives just in time for the big battle, which is 3 months and 3? Okay, good.
Yes.
That's literally the scene: is Nero getting in the armor right before the battle.
I will also try to get a suit of light power armor, which is very rare from what I saw.
Yep.
Brings
up to it.
Plasma pistol, if we can spare one.
I can also get a plasma. I think, yeah. So light power armor, the plasma pistol, and then I think I'll try to get the infantry.
Okay. So commerce test for the light power armor first. Okay, so that'll be 3 degrees. So plus 6. So plus 16 total. So you're looking at a 55% chance on light power armor.
65?
55.
55.
Yep. 39 plus 16.
Barely.
Hey, just made
okay.
it. That's it. And very rare on this planet. We'll take you D10 weeks.
So
8 weeks. Yep.
2 months. That's
And plasma pistols are, let's just see, plasma pistol is very rare, so it's the same chance basically. So do your commerce test.
right. Laptop can't type. 9. Wow. That's a
Wow.
lot.
Okay, that's it. 7 degrees says plus 14. So plus 24 is 63% chance.
63.
Yep.
I believe.
Nope.
Nope.
That's about right. I don't. I think the infantry is just minus 30. So
I'm gonna double check.
Combined plus your commerce test.
yeah.
We're talking about the super light infantry.
I just have whatever you have recommended, which is medium mechanized infantry. Modern.
Well, that's what the Chimera force. You had asked me for a smaller version of that force that was just light infantry, no armor, special forces, and that came to something else.
Okay, have you got that handy? So what should we work out now?
Yeah, I talked a whole bunch of mad shit. It's minus 10 profit factor.
Minus
So,
10. Okay, so
yeah.
your base 29 plus you've got additional 14 from your commerce test, so 43.
That's a lot better than like 10. So
Yeah. No.
Okay. And that'll be it for that. I would also like to start working on one of the colonies to get what they need.
Oh yes,
So,
All right, which one are we thinking
So-
about?
because the two right now that are have grown but have not yet fully kit out are Hoarfrost and Outpost 31.
whichever one would be the easiest, because I know one's needing a food situation, the other one's needing communications.
Doesn't one need
yeah,
power?
No, power was what you did for landfall.
Oh, okay.
We have that solved.
Yeah. No, I got you.
So what was that dice roll I just heard then? What was
sorry,
for?
that
Oh, it was-
I'm testing a degree of success macro that'll work very quickly now that your guys' sheets aren't working.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it in.
It might be a Firefox thing.
I think James is using Chrome. Are you?
Yeah, I'm
No, I
just,
think he was
using
using
Firefox.
Firefox.
I'm using
Oh,
Firefox.
okay.
I'm just
Okay.
coming up with solutions you guys can throw on Roll20 to help speed it
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So, all right. Well, we need to do if we want to do the stuff for that colony, then we're talking about another lesser
Endeavor.
endeavor. Yes. So we need to break it down into 3 things to sort out. And keep in mind,
Are they both
Okay.
lesser endeavors?
both lesser endeavors. That's the
Okay.
minimum to get infrastructure.
Let's do the food one first, because that one sounds more urgent.
Is this one we can do remotely? Is that a thing?
You can, but obviously it limits your skills somewhat.
see.
You know, so for example, when you did it on landfall, you could then go and assess the equipment yourself. So we basically need to come up with you've got 50 points from your ship, so you've got 1 plus 30 rolls somewhere in the list, but you basically got to make 9 plus 0 rolls, or 8 plus 0 and 1 plus 30. And so you need to come up with skills that would fit the 3 different steps to complete that endeavor. So, for example, getting food infrastructure could be, for example, like administrative tasks around taking a census, and then mercantile tasks around getting the food there, and then tasks around setting up, farms, whatever the case may be. You guys need to work out
But
what skills.
we've tithed some food that we could provide, essentially.
Yep.
So technically, we have the food. We could just bring it to them, and then maybe set them up with like a farm that they could self-provide.
I got a suggestion. I got pretty good Scholastic Lore Tactica. I was thinking maybe we could have them start setting up sort of prefabricated Imperial Guard style distribution centers. You know what I mean? Like use their standards as how we're going to upgrade things. You know, do it military style.
Yeah, it's like a departmentum unitorum style arrangement. Yeah. So that certainly brings it into the military flair.
Everyone good with that? I mean,
That's fine.
That's one of the only things I can do. So.
That's fine.
All right, so let's start work this out. So the first thing is working out. In this case, we'll say what we need. So let's look at some skills that might be applicable there. So I think, Arthur, your suggestion there falls more into the third step, which is the actual deployment of
I
the
agree.
resources. So I would take skills like
Command.
Sorry,
Command.
Yep, inquiry, logic, scrutiny, even common law Imperium. I'd take for working out like the needs of a colony for setting up food distribution. Common law war, since you're going to be solving it in a manner similar to a military.
I have common law war. Not good at it.
I can do scrutiny. It was inquiry. Is that correct?
I'll take inquiry. Yep.
Okay. I could do command and then inquiry, and then if someone else wants to do logic or whatever they might
not
be
suited to these tests at all.
I can do common law war, but it's only going to be a 40.
I can give you a +10.
Okay.
So it could be a 50. I don't know if Cyrax's logic would be better.
You're muted.
My base logic is 50.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and make that logic roll.
So I can give you a 60 essentially.
Nero's going to
Correct.
wander by and start saying some stuff, and then Cyrax is going to blast binary at him, and Nero's just going to be like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, I didn't see. I can do that if you want. So I want to use my logic.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and I'll give you the +10 to do that.
Roger.
So remember somewhere to use a plus. Okay,
5 degrees of success.
Wow. Would you roll
Okay.
a 1? A 9? Jesus.
Okay.
Now I'm rolling
So-
command.
So you
Sure.
do you get bonus for the ship? I'm trying to remember. The ship
No.
We
I think it's
get
actually get a
bonuses, but I
minus
think it's
5.
for trade and stuff.
yeah.
See
It's
here.
for intimidation, I thought.
We get a 5 for command, 15 for intimidate in social situations.
Okay,
Yeah.
well the 5 wouldn't matter for my command roll.
Why not? It's still 5. Sorry?
I did command roll.
Oh, you've already made the roll. Okay, cool. No worries.
Yeah.
All good.
and
They
the
get
5 wouldn't
2.4.
matter.
Okay.
And then I need to do the inquiry. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys really
6.4.
Wow,
Jesus
really
Christ.
fucking killed it. So what do we need? 9 degrees of success, and we just destroyed that? Like,
Well, so you need to pass. So you need to pass 9 rolls total, but you've got extra degrees of success, which will translate to extra achievement points, which may at the end translate to additional profit, effectively. So
yeah, additional profit
Okay,
sounds
sounds
great.
good.
So the next step now is actually getting what we're talking about, what we actually need. So in these cases, I'll be taking things like commerce, charm, probably trade skills. If you got relevant trade
How about
skills,
intimidate?
intimidate. Yep.
Well, I could do charm and commerce.
I have a
Hmm.
40 intimidate, and then I get a plus
I could also
15
do
from the ship.
barter.
Barter's probably a really good one.
Ooh, that does
Barter's a
sound
good one.
good.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
So I could just do all 3 of those essentially.
Yeah. Your only problem is you can't give yourself plus 10. That's all.
Well, I get +10 from renowned
That's true.
warrant.
Now warrant. Yep.
So, okay, I'll do charm first.
This is a man looking to run out of fate points.
I haven't used any yet.
Yet. Wow, goddamn.
Wow.
I mean, if we're not gonna suck, this is a good thing to not suck at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The other one was command.
Yep.
We get a +5 to command.
I mean,
Okay.
the
so
only
Jared-
am I the only one with
15.
trade skills?
I have trade skills, obviously enough. That was actually not that great of a roll, but I still passed.
Yep.
And then barter.
I'm killing this.
Um,
Don't say that. Okay,
Still?
I barely.
Okay.
It passed technically, unless I need to spend a
pass is a pass.
So finally, we're on to the actual deployment phase. So once again, trade skills or command, your common law, like the war and military ones you want to use, and you still got your +30 to use as well. You've still got 1 +30 for one of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm about to
I
kill
can't
this
remember-
cat.
Can't remember what skills are good for this.
I think when we deployed the other one, I was able to use. I mean, well, that was a reactor, though. To be fair,
Barter was one. Command was one.
I mean, I've got tech use if that's eligible for something.
Yeah, common law tech probably, because you're not actually doing it yourself. So it'd be
Alright.
more common law tech in this case.
Yeah, okay, I could do common law. Common law tech's at a 50, so plus whatever.
10 to
Charm?
60. Yeah, I'll take charm as well.
Okay. I say that because that's my best skill at the moment.
Am I still making this common war, or sorry, Scholastic War Tactic overall?
Oh yes.
Okay.
So
So I
you
get
take the +30 on your one then, because your ability is towards military achievement. So
that work.
Okay.
so you're +40 total for the do it
And
better.
I'll give him a +10 for that.
Yeah, well, that's what the +40 is.
Yep,
Yeah, 30
that's-
plus.
Okay.
3.5.
3. Okay.
I don't think. Well, does charm make sense? I don't know.
Well, I could do
wow.
common. Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel
do,
out?
do the
Okay.
common lore. Absolutely. Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
that.
do the common law tech. Do the common law
Yep.
tech from Cyrax at 60%.
10. This fucking cat right now. He's going nuts. He wants in, he wants out. He wants in, whatever. All right. 3.2.
Sorry. Okay. And then final roll.
You said I could use charm.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
So desperate to use charm.
It's out of 83.
That'd
at the
be like me
moment.
showing up, be like, James, can I use ballistic skill? It's my best.
Can I shoot the food into their mouth?
And I'll spend a fate point to make it another degree of success better.
Okay.
Wow,
9 degrees. Okay.
look at
wow.
this.
Hey, look at
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy. Look at him captain
Wow.
and like a boss.
So wow. So we overdid it by, let me just see, 13. So 7, 13, 19, 20, 23, 26, 35. Okay. So not only did you manage to deploy, these food resources brilliantly with no complications onto Outpost 31,
Remotely.
but you actually had leftover supplies that you managed to realize profit from as well. So the group's profit factor goes up by 3 to 42, plus whatever I need to work out after the show what the impact on it is of Outpost 31 now getting its requirements.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Interesting.
We all high five.
Social distance high five.
I just sit there with a martini. And good job.
Somehow people are confused, but Cyrax is smoking a cigar.
And then next week we can hopefully solve the other outpost and have that done.
Yeah.
I assume Cyrax smoking a cigar is literally just like a hood with glowing robot eyes, and then occasionally the cherry of the cigar lights up. No one
There's
really
no-
questions where it's located.
What happens is, because his face looks like this, right? These are like little louvers, and they open up, and smoke just comes out. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it doesn't ask questions. Like,
If we don't have anything
All right,
else, James, I'd like to meet with Thale. And
I've got one more scene I need to do
of course,
first.
please. No, go ahead.
There is a communication that comes from Riani to the senior crew
Oh boy.
to meet
Ooh.
in the scriptorium.
All right. I'll attend.
Nero has the boy stay outside because otherwise Riani and Garth are gonna lose their fucking minds.
So you go into the scriptorium, and Riani's in there along with a man that you've seen about here. He's a tall, thin, voidborn man. So like that sort of pallid skin, sparse hair on top. but well dressed. But yeah, well dressed in a sort of slightly disorganized way, like the sort of person that's always got something going on, and just didn't have time to tuck in this part of the shirt in the morning and such. But still professional looking. And on the table between them is a whole bunch of maps and scrolls and books and notations, along with like classic sort of navigational equipment, like the little sort of the compass you use to like space out the circles, everything, and the what's the thing you hold up the circle with the tube on top?
Shit, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All sorts of old school navigation equipment, basically.
God damn it.
And in the room as well as actually a sextant. There we go. Thanks very much for command.
Sextant. There you go.
Yeah. Also in the room has been sort of arrayed a number of small paper mache painted globes to look like planets. That have been sort of dangled from the ceiling to sort of form like almost like a mini sort of star map of major worlds.
Is that normal?
It wasn't here last time we were in the scriptorium.
Nero's just gonna be like, "What the fuck happened?" Like, this is not paper mache time, kids.
Yeah, even actually hanging, like, you see, you can spot the planet which is supposed to be Regina 4, and there's this like really nicely made model of the Hand of Calixis also hanging from the ceiling by a bit of like fishing line.
Interesting. Can I, at a glance,
not in scale, but it's nicely done.
Can I look over all his maps and shit and see? I have Scholastic Lore Astromancy.
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, I just want to see what he's up to.
So
3.9 degrees.
Yep. So this guy has definitely explored. So this is stuff he's brought with him on board, and he's definitely been in the Expanse before because he's got quite and like what he has before him has actual value because this is largely unexplored region of space. So knowing where there's stable warp routes, knowing where there's places that you can drop out safely to recharge, whatever the case may be, this is all valuable knowledge. And so he and Riani have obviously been going through this, planning out the route to Solitude. But yeah, it's well done. You can appreciate a professional at work, and this guy's clearly a professional at what he does.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So when the rest of the senior officers arrive, Nero is going to try to peacock a little bit and say, "Oh, Riani, did you find something about the warp route to Solitude I asked you to look at because we'll be going there soon?" And then he's not going to look at the Lord Captain, but he's going to be like, "Yeah, that's right. I did something useful."
No one can see it because of the blindfold, but Garth rolls his eyes.
Wait. I have an omniscope. I can watch you in Presense, watch your blood vessels roll. I know now.
Okay, so the man that's with Riani sort of, as you walk in, is like, Lord Captain, welcome, please. We haven't had a chance to meet yet. I am Vincent Royson. I'm your Rosen, your new Kano artifacts. I've just been meeting with the lovely Riani here regarding our planned trip to Solitude. And there was a matter that I wanted to make sure that we brought your attention before it's too late and we've already left and it's too late to change the course. Before you set the course, do you have a moment of time? And you and your senior crew, you should probably all hear this. It's probably
like we're all here and he's asking us.
I came from like the engineerians at the back of the ship. I just came like 2 fucking kilometers to fucking meet this guy. He's asking if I have a second. I just spent the better part of an hour and a half getting here.
I'm gonna put a hand on Cyrax's shoulder and say, "Please let me." And then I'm gonna put a bolt into the heavy bolter and just be like, "If you called the entire senior crew here to ask permission to address us, you are going to be walking out an airlock without a suit."
Where's this guy in rank, by the way? What rank is he as far as like? I know like the top 3 are like rank 1, and there's like 2 and whatever.
He's a rank 3, a rank 4.
Okay,
so kind of artifacts are rank 4.
So he's just below Nero. So Nero actually outranks this cat.
I outrank everybody.
About the fight.
It's called bigger army diplomacy.
Yep. And like when you like rack every bottle, like if he could get any more pale, he does. So
address the Lord Captain concisely and quickly with your concerns immediately.
Yes. As I was saying, there are some documented issues regarding the Solitude system. Something about the planets or about the system's star causes some influence upon the warp that certainly leads to some significant temporal issues when traveling to or from or communicating to or from Solitude.
explain in
I believe what
layman's
he's
terms?
saying is that as you approach, time becomes stretched.
Yes, yes. So
What is
when
the
you-
factor of this temporal issue?
well, as with the warp, it varies all the time. But what I'm telling you is that the time to reach solitude for us on board the Hand of Calixis will feel like longer than actually passes in the Materium at the time. So whereas the journey itself is about 2 weeks, for us it will probably feel closer to 2 months.
Interesting.
It also means that any communications that we've received from Solitude, you should be aware are probably at least a month delayed.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Interesting.
no. Is this something that I would have pulled from his notes that he's written here? And all his stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to it checks out from what you can see.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell the guy, be like, at a glance, it seems like he is most competent. His numbers seem correct.
I mean, Nero's not
Nope.
going to apologize. This guy did essentially almost waste our time, but he is not going to murder him. And he's going to turn towards Garth and say, perhaps you need to communicate with our contact there and let them know that we may arrive somewhat later than they expect.
Or early. Hard to tell.
True.
It's all
The warp
relative.
is unpredictable.
Yes, but he literally just got done explaining to us that on average it will take us longer to arrive than we would think.
It would feel like we would take us longer.
It'll certainly take two weeks
Correct.
of real time, but it will feel like longer to you.
Again, but when we've communicated with them, we've told them we would be there in a certain amount of time.
We would still be there in a certain amount of time. It would
Correct.
just feel to us like it would take even longer.
All of this is true. However, we know now that there is a month message delay, which they don't know about, perhaps. Or at the very least, we don't. So if we told them we were going to arrive in a few days, for them, that message is not going to have the correct date that we will arrive at. Because they won't receive it for an extra month.
But then technically,
Send
wouldn't
them-
we be there before the message was received?
That's correct. That's right. What Mr. Valance said.
So again,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Nero's head
No,
hurts, and he's just like, what?
because technically, if we're planning on being there within a few days,
How can the
and
ship
it takes
travel
over
faster than a
month of
message?
traveling? Well, that's
Well,
the
you see,
warp.
it's a warp phenomena known as time dilation physical displacement accretia, and he starts going this
Nero
like
just
babbling-
walks out of the room.
Blather is definitely this guy's highest
I
skill.
think Pierre's just kind of sitting there trying to figure out this whole warp message conundrum. Okay.
He's actually started drawing like formula on the table to explain it.
He's just pointing at the wall for like covered in shit, you know, like in the,
You can't
No,
forget the
we're-
plus.
Pierre, it's very difficult. It's very simple to explain, really. If our messages take a month and we're planning on being there in a few days, there's no point in us sending an extra message saying that we'll be there, you know, whatever, later than we expected. Because if our travel time is as normal, we would still arrive before our initial message was even sent.
We're going to get there on time, correct?
Technically early.
Once again, that depends on the vagaries of the warp. But, you know, that's
That's
As
all I
far
care.
as our message is concerned, it will technically be arriving before our message was. They will
This-
have received our first communication.
Okay.
This is precisely why you have an arrival window and not a specific date.
So long as we get there as scheduled, that's all I care.
Correct.
Oh yes, we'll get there as scheduled, but it'll probably be a surprise because they most likely won't know that we're coming.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus.
Very
It's all
well.
relative, you see.
Is there anything else that you would
Martini.
like to make me think of my profession? Reconsider it.
Consider my profession.
no. I think that should cover off the needs. And Riani sort of comes to it. Lord Captain, that librarian passed in the hall before. He was looking for you as well.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
we need to kill that guy.
I will
Space Marine?
have him.
Yes.
No, we don't need to kill that guy.
I will speak to him then. I guess in my ready room, or wherever he
he-
prefers to meet. I really have.
Well, he walked off. I don't know. I suggested he used the Vox, but he seemed intent upon fighting you directly.
Okay, well,
I mean, you might be able to get
someone
Garth
send
to
a
tell where he
Vox
is.
saying I'll be in the bridge or something.
So Nero just voxes. Nero's not even in the room, but Nero voxes is just like, to the Space Marine wishing to meet with the captain. He is in the ready room in the next 30 minutes. Thank you. All hands, find Viridius and send him to the ready room. That's the message.
All right. You head up to your ready room.
Yes, and like very confused and
Viridius turns.
Go ahead.
Viridius turns up shortly after. Captain, are you okay? You seem.
I can't explain. This
Is it
warp
just-
thing is very complicated. It seems.
Did you go alone, or did you bring any of us with you?
I don't know who would go along. I
I don't know.
I mean,
assumed you
I've-
wanted to speak to me personally.
I've specifically told you there are certain questions you need to ask this guy about his extremely suspicious circumstances.
Yes, I'll get to that.
Okay.
What can I do for you?
I wanted to pass on some news to you directly. Not that it's largely relevant, but I thought you may still want to know that the apothecaries of my order were unable to save the dreadnought.
Fuck.
That's very unfortunate. I apologize for the loss.
Just give me a scrutiny roll.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, no shit.
He's considering crushing me with his bare hands. Pop me like a
Yeah.
balloon.
Yeah.
No pluses or anything, just straight
No,
scrutiny.
just straight
Is
scrutiny.
he in or out of his armor? I assume he's out of it, right?
He's out of his armor.
I'll
Okay.
spin a fate point. Why not?
I mean,
Doesn't
he never
matter.
brought armor. So.
Ah,
Wow.
excellent.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Big turnaround.
You're not entirely sure he's telling you the truth.
Hmm.
You feel like he's telling you a convenient truth.
Wow. I am so shocked to hear that Viridius is lying to us for like the third time in a row.
Yeah,
Damn.
Space Marine business is Space Marine business.
It's so weird that this guy who has consistently lied to us would continue to lie to us.
Anyway, I thought you should know. I have other things to get back to, but I wanted to tell you directly. And please know that we don't hold anything against you for this. This is the circumstances were what they were. You didn't know at the time what you were dealing with.
May I inquire to you as to how long were you on? Were you on that ship the entire time with us with Charlotte Bells?
Raise the
Yes.
sofa.
Yes.
And is there a reason why you didn't come into contact with me or any of my crew?
I wasn't looking to reach out to that point in time. I was simply looking to find out what was on Regina 4 that was so important to our order. And then once I understood what that was, I decided that the next best course of action was to make contact with you because technically it belongs to you.
Insight check.
Have we completed stripping the ship, or is that still an ongoing
Yes,
process?
that's happened.
Okay.
I mean, short of like,
Well, yeah, but I mean, we got
finding
the
more scarabs. You got all the space marine tech out.
yeah. That's what it is. Because I dedicated most of our tech adepts and servitors to like ripping out anything that they wanted.
I mean, there's probably still compartments of the ship which are not yet accessible, but for the most part, all that stuff is out.
Yeah, well, what we could get to without cutting it in half and all that shit. Because
May
I
I
assume we don't
ask-
have full salvage gear.
May I ask what you've communicated with the Order Familius of what you've read into my fate about to the Order Familius?
Only that there is something important for our chapter that will happen here in the near future, and that our own prognostications can't see beyond this place. Something about this world, probably potentially the presence of the psychic blanks, inhibits us from fully anticipating the next steps. Only that it will be very important.
Did you speak with the Inquisitor at all?
I've spoken with many Inquisitors. Anyone in particular?
A Pendergast?
I know a Pendergast. She has goals that have aligned with us in the past, and so we have worked together in the past.
Have you discussed to her about myself?
I know that she's aware of you. Your name has come up in conversation before.
Interesting. And you have told her about what you've seen of my future.
Yes.
Because she was the one that brought to the attention of Miriam, who is of the Order Familius, about the Vambrace to be given to me.
Yes, well, that was some time ago that was arranged. And while,
Yes.
I mean, obviously all signs get clearer as you draw closer to them, there was still some within our order that questioned that wisdom even back then, but it has panned out as all things do.
May I ask what really occurred to the...
So please, this is the third time you've asked me if you can ask me a question. Please just ask your questions.
Okay. I'm a little hesitant as to I don't know what you want to tell me or
Trust
what
me,
may be forthcoming.
if you ask me something I cannot tell you, I will let you know.
About the Dreadnought, you seem to be only telling me half of the story, or at least not being forthcoming with all the details.
As I said, I told you what you needed to know.
Very well. If there's anything that your chapter needs of me, please let me know. I can see if I can procure it for you.
Very well.
I do thank you for your assistance that you'll be having in this sort of battle coming ahead. I might have some more information about what we might be facing, possibly.
Well,
From what
I'd
I
be
heard from
interested-
another Inquisitor, they are being known as, or at least they were being referred to as Necrons. That's all I know so far.
I've heard the name. I don't know too much about them, though.
I'm hoping to find out more.
Right, he then nods and leaves.
Okay. I think the entire time, like, Pierre was internally very uncomfortable knowing this guy could just pop his head like a balloon anytime.
All right, so Nero, Thale, just
yes.
him or his whole gunnery crew line up?
Just him, and it's a
Okay.
casual conversation, someplace where they can sit down quietly.
Okay. All right, so you find he's probably got like a breakout area somewhere near the gunnery decks that you can sit in.
Yeah. You
Master-
are the crew chief for Gunnery Deck C, correct?
Yes.
I understand you feel like I've been difficult with you. Like I've challenged you beyond your capabilities. Is this correct? It's
That's
okay.
not-
Let's speak frankly.
I don't think that's something I felt, no.
Very well.
I think that
Why has your gunnery crews continue to fail? What can I do to improve the situation? Because their failure is your failure.
this is simply a matter of time and training. This isn't a military, this isn't a naval boat.
Let's see. No, correct. You're right. Going to be better than a naval boat. That is the level of success that we will attain. Dale, are you uncomfortable with this position that you find yourself in as my second in command? Would you prefer that I find someone else? I've found that people rise in rank to the level of their incompetence, and I would hate for someone like you to be wasted if you are more comfortable as a crew chief.
The reason that I stepped up when I did after all the senior crew disappeared was simply the fact that the teams that I worked with would listen to me.
Yes,
I didn't seek that level of authority.
I agree.
So
That's why I'm checking in with you, to see if you want this level of authority as my...
What I care about is what's best for this ship and best for the crew. And so I will do whatever I can to put my best foot forward now.
Fantastic. Now, I'm so glad that you brought up your, how should I put this? Seizing command of the ship. Because that is another topic that I was hoping to discuss with you.
Are any of us there for this?
Don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, we know that Garth perpetually is wherever the hell he wants to be. You could be sitting outside on a beach chair for all I care. You could be within listening distance. I would be comfortable having Garth nearby because I know I wouldn't be able to hide anything from him anyway. He just sucks people's brains out.
Well, I'm not sure. It depends if Cade's still walking around with you, because in which case Garth might have a problem reading people's minds.
That is true.
Yeah.
Cade would be nearby for this.
He's got it. Arthur has his own fucking Usalamiri that he's packing around now.
I didn't even think that I could use this kid to help me attack Viridius and Garth. Oh boy. Wow. I just want to have him pair up with Viridius for the rest of the voyage. Just follow this guy around. Yeah, look, if you want to be within listening distance of this, it's not like I'm trying to hide the meeting, but I am trying to keep it, casual. Why, you want to be here for it? Drinking a margarita? Good? No, guess that's enough.
Sorry, I was tabbing through a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's no point in me being there if you got a freaking Usalamiri going around with you. So
yeah, okay. You only want to be here so you can read people's minds. I got it.
Yeah.
You don't care about participating. You want to care about the mind stuff.
I mean, I want to make sure that I was wanting to make sure that what this guy was saying was actually the truth.
Sure.
Can't do that with.
You'll have to do that some other time.
With the Void Boy there.
Ooh, Void Boy. Man, that is going to be my nickname for Cade now. Writing that down. I say, in taking command of the ship, you accept responsibility for the actions of the ship during that time. And I think we can both agree that those actions were lacking. Whether it was by your hand or not, the simple fact of the matter is that when we arrived on this ship, it was a shithole. There were actions that could have been taken that were not. For instance, taking the ties up, repairs, crew morale and discipline all fell to the side. So I've been hard on you, Thale, specifically because of that. That will be coming to a close soon. You have almost served out your punishment for your failures, whether you deserve them or not. I need troublemakers among the gunnery crews. Those who could use a hand at killing if they've never done it before. Those whose discipline is somewhat lacking. Those who you simply find do not fit in. Those people are to report to the Twitch Sketcher immediately, along with yourself. We are going on a hunt. Do you have any objection?
No, I've served with the previous Twitch Catcher before this. So.
Fantastic. I hope that your ballistic skill is as good as you should be for someone of your position.
It's approximately 30, like everybody else on the ship.
Well, it's about to get a lot. It better get a lot better in a very short amount of time.
On a scale of 100 to 1, what is your what would you say your power level is?
Normally I'm the one that goes out of character, James. Gather up your malcontents and those who have yet to taste blood. I'm going to go gather some criminals and see to it that they are also put to work. I'll see you there, Thale. Thank you for this discussion.
Excellent. Bring me your most mutinous dogs, and then they can follow me into this dark hallway. This can only go well.
You think Nero is afraid of a bunch of 30 skill?
That's right. They're locked in there with you.
We'll see who is worthy. 30 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yeah, Nero's gonna go to the brig and just look over all the people in the brig. He's gonna skip past the Loki in the cell. Basically, the first cell was filled with the unconscious tech priest unconscious Astropath who recently lost an arm.
I think he's probably in like a solitary cell that is just him.
So Nero's just gonna go to all the other malcontents and just be like, gentlemen, do you have any explanation for your failures of discipline, drinking, gambling, not being on duty, etc.?
Being oxygen thieves.
I mean, out of the 3 people, you probably get 2 or 3 people that try and throw in, or either claiming it's not true, or I mean, I've watched enough sort of courtroom shows to know that there's always people that have some sort of.
I'm gonna move in front of one of them, and as part of this, the weapon mount is gonna flip from back to front, just so I can get a good look at this guy in prey sense, and just say, "What's your name?" Rating.
It is Korak.
Korak. You are claiming then that you have been improperly captured by Chief Bosun Sargon?
Well, I'm saying that the chief didn't know the full context of what was going on.
I shoot him.
Fatally, or
100% fatally.
Okay, no worries.
The shoulder-mounted gun too. It's never been fired before, so. Well, I fired at electrical conduits before.
Yep.
Yeah, I just shoot him in the head with a zoom, very zoomed in. And then
I see a pimple there. Blam.
It's like in a game. If you've ever been in a sniper scope and you're looking down, and then somebody sneaks up on you, it's right in front of you. It's like, oh Jesus, what is that? It's like that close.
Friendly fire.
You just see torso or whatever, and then you just fire at a reflex. It's like shit.
You have been banned from the server.
Give me a +10 intimidate roll plus whatever bonus you get from the ship. I think you get it.
Oh, good. I mean, I'm so glad to be allowed to make this roll.
And I'll take this as a combat check as well.
Oh, excellent. That makes it so much better for me. All right, so the ship gives me 15. And I think I get -5 for. Oh no, it isn't. It's a combat check, so I don't lose that 15. All right, so I get a +25.
But so.
Wow, I'm just gonna go ahead and fate point that.
Yeah,
okay.
might as well.
Yep, there we go.
All good. Okay,
wow, that's.
Okay. That's why I just want to make sure you weren't losing. You won't lose morale.
A little bit more effective.
People.
Fucking Nero. Knock knock. Who's that?
I'm just gonna look around at everybody and say, congratulations. Your debt to the Lord Captain will be paid by your service with the twist catcher. We need to round up the mutants and we need to kill them. All of you will be following me. You'll be in my personal squad.
I'm glad you have all volunteered.
Yeah. Nero's gonna start unlocking all the prison cells and just be like, failure to comply, failure of discipline in any way. Well, you've seen what happens. I won't even need to get my hands dirty. He says that as he reaches up to affectionately pat his left shoulder mounted gun. And he turns, but then he swivels the gun so it's watching behind him, and he says, I'll always be watching.
All right, well, they start to fall into where they're required for the twist catching.
They'll just line up in a ranks and just snap to attention. They're like, all right, well, fuck. We're
watching
doing
them get their gear out, and he's just looking over it, and he's like, the Emperor protects. And the Emperor's not going to protect this flak vest. You better get a new one. That's it. That's all. The Nero just harasses the shit out of them.
So one final scene. We see the interior of a spacecraft, not a spacecraft we've seen so far. And the ticker at the bottom simply reads a question mark. And as the camera pans around, we see 2 figures with their back to the camera, both standing at a table, both of them in silver black power armor. The obvious yellow and black chevrons on their shoulder pads and knees. What? No. Iron Warriors.
Oh boy,
yeah,
great.
The
My
larger
boys are
of,
coming.
Fantastic.
the larger of them holds like a large power axe and has clear twisted mechanicus implants and mechadendrites. From behind the camera, a sort of lowly human cultist walks into view and sort of says, "Warpsmith, our spies from within the Imperium have told us that the dreadnought trader Vastapol was slain by the agents of the Corpse Emperor. There's like a nod from the taller two figures, and he sort of like signals for the person to leave. As they turn to leave, his hand whips up with a bolt pistol, and a shot fires into the person as they're leaving the camera. And we just see like a spatter of blood. And the person next to him says, "Warpsmith, was that really necessary?" And the Warpsmith just says, "Whatever he was, Vastapol was still my brother." And that's the end of the episode.
Wow, that guy is the Nero of chaos.
Shit, it's even worse.
There's nothing worse than Nero.
I don't know about this.
All right, so outros.
Experience.
Experience. I guess it's 300 XP, looting XP, 300 XP.
Shit, James. Shit.
So close yet so far.
I don't know whether I want to start boosting my willpower so that I can resist Garth's mind fuckery and Viridius and the force witches of Dathomir that we encountered. And
I don't know if the Fourth Legion is involved. You might want to up your fucking toughness.
I have good toughness, man. You know what they say? You don't need to survive a shot if the other person already exploded from heavy bolter rounds.
Yeah, well, you don't. We'll see. We'll see when you learn about the what the Fourth Legion, how tough they are. Mutation? Nope. Lop it off. Replace it with cybernetics.
The enemy can't push a button if you disable his hand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem with the Wormsmith, though. He's got like 20 hands. It's like Doc Ock on steroids.
Toughness, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna save up for willpower. I'm tired of all these motherfucking psychers in my motherfucking head. You know, speaking of psychers, Sid Alpha. Those outros.
Hello, yes, thank you everyone for coming in to watch. This was a lot of fun. A little bit of a murder mystery there for a bit, which I always enjoy. And yeah, I should be having more videos coming up on, I did say this weekend on Thursday, but yeah, I should have a new video coming up on my channel tomorrow. And I should be back on Thursday for more Battletech right here. So don't forget to come check that out.
Sure. Anna, what do you got?
I should have Hunters of Olvern tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Trying to say Central and Eastern at the same time was not working out. That'll be on my channel at Pond of the Mad at twitch.tv. And should be getting back to Battletech next Thursday. From what I can tell, from what I can know. And that's about it.
Atomic, what do you got?
So find me at twitch.tv/TommyWarsmith, where I occasionally play games. Find me here on Saturdays with these fine gentlemen. Obviously, it's fun to Fourth Legion doesn't get used a whole lot, so it's fun that James is throwing them in there because they're my boys. But you also find me on Sundays over at Pondo's channel for our Gestalt game, which is, always a good time. It's a little bit, I would say, chill. I mean, we kind of just hang out. We get off topic a lot. It's kind of a problem. Anyway, or you find me at Wednesdays for New Game Plus. Obviously, we're doing all sorts of shenanigans and fucking around with time and everything else. So it's always fun. That's pretty much all I got. James, Engine War dropped today. That was good. It was fun. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yep, got my pre-ordering.
Yeah, I need to put mine in. I assume at least you're getting podcast material now. with both the there'd be a bunch of more 9th edition stuff coming soon, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
James, what do you got?
I'm James from Grim.podcast, grim.podcast.com. The episode up there 4 hours ago. Check it out. I can see my stats here. Nobody's downloaded it yet.
I plan to immediately after this. So
that's all good. So yeah, obviously talking more about 9th edition. Also talking about Soulbound, which is the Age of Sigmar RPG, which just came out too. But otherwise, I'll be back here next week. I'll be lurking on Arthur's channel in the chat groups all week as well. But otherwise, I'll see everybody next week.
You know, I really thought we were going to get to Solitude this episode.
So do I. I've literally got I've got Solitude written. I've got Getting Together with Cassius Schrain written, and I've got Going Down with a Blank into the Pyramid written. I just had to have everything ready to go, no matter what people decided to do.
We'll get back to Solitude. I get thing I can give people the clamps. So that'll be fun. Because I think it'll be. Oh yeah, it definitely would have been 3 weeks by the time
we have to toughen up the blank first.
Yeah.
Then we can send them down with us.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've already got the plug for the arm, so it shouldn't be too hard. I just gotta install it. I don't need surgery. I've already got the interface.
How do we get the blank and Garth down there? Are we gonna have to get Garth like a tether, like a dog?
I mean, he can go down there. It's just gonna be uncomfortable.
He can't see while the guy's next to him.
Well, we just have to guide him down there. I mean, we'll have to just figure it out. I mean,
yeah,
we're gonna practice social distancing. The aura only goes so far.
Yeah.
How big's the aura? That's the question.
Is it 6 feet? Otherwise, it's going to be a problem.
Well, what we can do is we can just go to the hangar. We'll stand them next to each other, and he just keeps taking it. Step. Can you see me now?
Wow.
Can you see me now?
Wow.
Can you see me now? And then once he can see. We know. So we just put the blank at the front and Garth at the back, or whatever. I mean, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I've got 3 different combats written that we have not yet gotten to, but that's all right.
Good.
We'll get to them.
You want me to just go ahead and solo all of them?
Well, that's what they're designed for. So yeah.
Just wait until the heavy combat armor shows up.
I did. Obviously, I put the data slate out as well, and then James, I sent you what the data wafer contains.
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to go through it yet. But
Yeah. So found some old Photoshop shit to play around with. So.
Got anything else, James?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay. Friends, we'll be back next week, I believe. I mean, stay watching on Twitter and on Discord in regards to if I still have a studio basement by next week. I'll know more Monday morning or Monday afternoon. Find out then. Have a good night.